Thank you for tuning into another episode with Arthur, Nick, and Nicole, where you can unleash your inner voice. So today's guest is Mr. Mark Kemp. He is a professional hypnotherapist and a licensed optician, born and raised in Connecticut, but he's now residing in Georgia. He is the father of two, and he has a passion for pro football and hypnosis. So after the countdown, please welcome him to the stage so we can learn about his amazing journey.
Hey, is it hard?
Hello, how you doing today?
Greetings, Nikki. Thank you so much for having me on the show. I'm doing amazing.
Thank you so much. Thank you for being a guest today. So, tell me, how did your journey start with hypnosis?
Okay. Well, before the pandemic, there was the opioid crisis, and I have cerebral palsy, and I'm a licensed optician, as you mentioned in your intro, and therefore I spend a lot of hours on my feet. So that coupled with my cerebral palsy left me in a lot of pain most of the times. And I sought a more natural, holistic way to alleviate that pain. Like most people, I didn't want to pop a whole bunch of pills and things of that nature. So I looked and looked and looked for a more holistic way to handle my pain. And one day on a whim, a friend of mine mentioned hypnosis. And like most people, you dismiss it and you say, "Oh, that only happens in movies, and it's mind control," and so many other misconceptions that I'm going to lay to rest today. One day I was on YouTube and just feeling horrible, and a caption came across my screen: "Hypnosis for pain management." I was like, "Really? Okay." Well, I went to the file and I tried it, and it honestly didn't work, but it sparked a curiosity in me, and I'm one of those people. Once that curiosity button is hit, I can't let it rest. So I searched and searched and searched for a file, and I finally found one that worked. And I was able to bring my pain levels from, say, a 8 or 9 on a 1 to 10 pain scale, all the way down to like a 1 or 2. And I did that for a while. And based on that, I decided to learn the science and share it with others. Because I've been so blessed, I have to be a blessing to others, or my blessings will stop. That's the way I run my life.
Wow. That's interesting because you're right. Most people would say, hypnosis, curing pain. That's very interesting. I never knew that.
Yes.
Wow.
And there are a lot of misconceptions about hypnosis. And one of the reasons why I came on your show today is because I want to help to lay some of them to rest, especially in our community for people that look like us. Often what we don't understand, we demonize.
You're right.
It's time that we, stop doing that and look at the world for what it really is in some aspects. Yeah, there's a lot put upon us as people of color and melanated people, but so much of it depends how we deal with it and how we react to it can determine the outcome.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. So, what do you think the benefits of hypnosis is?
Okay. One of the first misconceptions I want to clear up is, number one, hypnosis does not cure anything per se. But what it does, it assists you in making those lifestyle changes that are positive for you. You know, if someone wants to come to me and have me assist them in stop smoking, they have to be ready to quit. You have to be at what we would in the industry would call threshold. That's when you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, and you're fed up, and you're really ready to quit. And when you're really ready to quit, you're going to have that determination within you, and the hypnosis will help to amplify that. You know, and
So you do you think it's a mind thing, or do you think that it just works naturally?
it is a mind thing, because when you deal with hypnosis, you're dealing with a person's subconscious, and that's all hypnosis really is. It's a chance for me to bypass your conscious thought and speak directly to your subconscious. The human thought process takes place on two levels: the conscious and the subconscious. Now, the conscious thought is about 10% of that thought process, about 10%, and the subconscious is 90%. But here's the thing that's beautiful: that conscious thought protects the subconscious. So therefore, I can't say to you, or I can't hypnotize you and say, okay, Nikki, go and hurt someone. That goes against your moral code. So therefore, at that point, your conscience is going to kick in and say, no, we're not going to do that. Now that's going to happen in one of two ways. If you're in a hypnotic state, either your body is going to reject it and you're going to come out of the hypnotic state, or you're just going to remain in that hypnotic state, but your body is going to ignore, that suggestion. And that's the thing. As a hypnotherapist or hypnotist, when I put you in that hypnotic state, number one, you have to want to go there, or you're not going to do it. Number two, when I place you in that hypnotic state, you are still fully aware of what's going on. Hypnosis does not put you in an amnesic place.
Wow. That's really interesting, because I thought that once you go on, under that, you're not aware of, your surroundings. You don't know what's going on. And that's interesting to know that your subconscious kicks in and says, no,
Yeah,
and stop certain things that goes against your morals.
it's your conscious that kicks in, because I'm speaking and working directly with your subconscious. So your big brother conscious is right there, or big sister conscious is right there saying, no, we're not going to do that.
Wow.
And that's the beautiful thing. And the thing that is surprising, hypnosis is around you every day and you don't even realize it. I'm going to give you a few examples. Number one, have you ever read a book and you could see the scene in your head?
Yes.
That author has ignited your imagination and you can see the scene in your head. Have you ever smelled something cooking and instantly became hungry?
Yes.
Okay, the smell of that food has hypnotized you or placed you in a trance. Have you ever watched a movie, a tearjerker of a movie, and you started to cry?
Of course.
Okay, now you all know those are paid actors and actresses. So why are you crying?
That's,
Because they tapped into your subconscious and your imagination.
mm,
And
that's
it
deep.
reframes your thought. Yes, it's around us every day. But, people are afraid of that word hypnosis. Oh, hypnosis. Oh, and when you see movies like Get Out, that
Oh
doesn't
yeah.
that doesn't help at all.
It doesn't help at all. That movie was off the charts. I mean, she started stirring that cup and it was on after that. So yeah, you're right. That movie doesn't help it, but it makes you afraid, actually.
Yeah, yeah,
What people can do to you, you
yeah,
know.
yeah. And subliminal messaging is around you every day. Why do you think when you go to a movie theater, one of the last things you see is someone coming through to the concession stand, or they show you popcorn or a soda because they want you to get up and buy it. And think about it. Most candies are wrapped in the supermarket, are wrapped in nice bright packages, and they're right at a children's arm reach level, so that they can reach out, mommy, 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 I want this. And lo and behold, some of those parents, to keep them quiet, they're gonna get it.
Exactly. That's the same thing. Like when you get to the register, they're right there, and you came in there for a couple of things, and now you're at the register, and you see this candy, you're tempted to buy something. So
Yes,
I,
it's all subliminal messaging. It's around us every day. So I'm of the mindset. Let's take control of some of that. Let's use that to our advantage, and reshape our thoughts and
wow.
reshape the way that we think about things. You know,
I mean,
unfortunately, because of a lot of societal pressures, you know, a lot of that saying is true. What you think and perceive, your body can achieve. And unfortunately, because of a lot of societal pressures, we kill our children's dreams at an early age. We don't mean to. We tell them, you know, don't do that creative thing. Do something that's going to get you paid. Do something that's going to, you know, pay your bills. And yes, that is important. But so many great ideas come from creativity. And creativity is something that must be fostered. And when we tap into your subconscious, we're tapping into your imagination and what can be. And we reshape that to what will be. And if we reshape it and you believe in it long enough, it shall come to pass.
that's true. That's true. We do, as parents, do tell our children, get a profession that's going to pay you, But most of the time, I feel like when you're in a position where you're doing something that you love and it's your passion, the money's going to come because it's your passion, you know.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
I agree completely on that. So do you think that it works for everyone?
It doesn't work for everyone. No, because for some people that are very critical thinkers and they want to see hard facts, and it tends not to work for them. But if you're open minded and you're receptive and you want to see a change, it can work, yes. Now,
Hmm.
there are some people that should not be hypnotized. If you are suffering from schizophrenia, or if you're bipolar, if you've been clinically diagnosed as depressed, you kind of want to stay away from it because number one, if you're being seen by a therapist and you're diagnosed as clinically depressed, they're working with you, so you don't want to do anything to hinder that. And just so that it's on record, I am a proponent of all counseling. Talk to somebody. Again, most marginalized communities are taught to just suck it up and take it. Whatever's going on, just deal with it. And no, we're human just like anyone else.
All right.
Talk to somebody. Just get it out. You don't want to carry around all that negative emotion and negative energy.
Well, I'd be the first to admit because, how you're raised sometimes, in our culture, you know, it's not the normal to go to therapy. It's not the normal to go up and be hypnotized. So those type of things are just not normal. So what people don't know about, they run away from. But
Yes.
therapy is important, especially when you go through a lot of traumatic situations in your life. It's important that you talk to someone because that person that you don't know is not going to judge you like the person that you do know. So talking to somebody outside of your family, your friends, sometimes can actually help you heal faster. So I
Yes.
agree.
Yes. And one thing that I like about hypnotherapy, and again, I'm a proponent of talk therapy also. Let me go on record and say that I believe in it. But, sometimes when you speak about whatever has traumatized you, you relive it.
Mm,
You know,
yes.
you relive it. And sometimes that's good, and other times that's not to your advantage. And the nice thing about hypnotherapy is that sometimes you don't have to speak about it because you're putting the work in. All I'm doing at that point as a hypnotherapist is guiding you. I'm giving you suggestions that will open you up mentally and emotionally, and there from that you still have to put the work in to make the change.
Right. But that's with anything. That's just like a person that smokes cigarettes. They've been
Yeah.
smoking for 40 years. Of course, if they don't put in their mind, that I'm going to stop smoking and they want to do it, then it's not going to happen. So,
Yes. One of the first questions that I ask someone when they come to me for smoking or vaping cessation is like, why do you want to stop?
Mm.
And I'm very upfront with them. If your reason for wanting to stop is something frivolous, well, I'm sick of my wife or my husband nagging me about it, or my partner nagging me about it. No, I would respectfully tell you, you're not ready to quit because you haven't said, I want to stop.
Yes.
You're doing it because someone else has asked you, or they've just stirred you to the point where it's either do this or take their persistence in complaining about it. So
Exactly.
you're not ready yet.
But see, I smoked cigarettes over 20 years.
Mhm.
And I couldn't stop because other people didn't want me to stop. You don't want me to stop. But when I made up in my mind that, look, this is what I'm gonna do and this is how it's gonna be, it was easy for me to quit.
Exactly.
And so it's been years since I've smoked, and I haven't went back to it. And I don't plan to. But you do have it. You have to have that in your mind that, hey, I want to do this, or it's gonna fail. So I
Exactly.
agree.
Exactly. So I tell people all the time, look, you can pay me the fee and I'll gladly accept it, but you're not ready to quit. So therefore, I'm going to save you some money and me some time. So when you're really, really ready, come see me and I'll gladly be that assistant to give you that little nudge that you need.
Right. So what else? What else can it be used for besides like kicking habits and stuff like that? What else do you use it for
There,
besides pain?
there are so many things. You can have a mental and emotional detox. Sometimes we're carrying so many things around, and just to have that space where you can just let it go. We hypnosis can be used for stress management. It can be used for insomnia. There's so many people that they have problems sleeping at night. I can hypnotize you and give you what we would call a trigger word. And every time you say that word, it puts you in that relaxed state where you can eventually fall asleep.
Wow.
And there's many uses, from the comical entertainment to everyday living. Again, I absolutely love pain management. When someone comes to me for pain management, I light up inside because it's what I used it for. It's what brought me to the field. It can be used to live out different things in your head. People, it's the rage about IVR, in using AI. It's just your imagination, so you can live out any scene in your head that you want to. I recently had a client that wanted to go on a hot air balloon ride, but they were somewhat afraid of heights. So I'm like, okay. So I had them watch a video on YouTube, and after they watched it, I watched the same video, and I took them, I hypnotized them, and I took them on that ride in their mind, and they could actually feel the emotion of the wind, feel the motion of the wind against their skin. So it's true. Whatever you can believe in your mind, and it deals with the five senses, you can actually experience it.
Wow.
And it has other uses. There are some dentists instead of using anesthesia, they use hypnosis.
Hmm.
You
But
know,
why do they use it? Why do you think they choose to use that method instead?
because some people they don't want the chemicals in their body. They want a truly holistic way of doing it. There are some tattoo studios. When a person, I don't know why they would want a tattoo and they're afraid of pain, but there's some people that want tattoos and they can't take the pain, frankly. So what we would do, we would numb up their arm or whatever part of their body that's going to be tattooed, and we would numb that up through hypnosis, and they'd go ahead and get it done.
So it sounds like to me that hypnosis is probably gonna. Well, I mean, it's kind of compared to anesthesia. So what is the difference between the doctor giving you anesthesia and being hypnotized? I mean, what's the difference in that? It seems like it's about the same because you do fall asleep, and rest.
No, but see, that's just it. With hypnosis, you're not asleep. You're in a very relaxed state, but you're not asleep because you're still aware of what's going on. It's like when you have surgery and they give you a nerve block.
Mm-hmm.
What we're doing, we're saying to your To your brain, you don't feel pain at this point.
Right.
You don't feel pain. Now, here's the thing with hypnosis and pain management, you never want to take the pain totally away, because pain is your body indication that something's wrong.
Right.
So, in the case of, chronic pain, it's used as pain management.
Mm.
It's managing the pain.
So it's basically like being numb
Correct.
and being aware. That's like, going to outpatient surgery and they say, well, you're gonna be awake, doing this procedure, but we're gonna just numb this area. But you are
Exactly.
aware of what's going on. So that's basic compared to that. Okay.
Yes.
Wow. So in what situations would you recommend that someone do, be hypnotized? What situation do you recommend it?
Well, number one, they have to want it, and number two, it's an alternative to other modalities. For some people that they live a very holistic life, they don't want all those chemicals in their body, so
Mhm.
they'd rather seek a holistic way of healing. Just like some people, they use acupuncture for pain. So
Mm.
it's just another modality and another choice that some people can use. Like we stated earlier, is it for everyone? No, but for those who believe in it and for those whom it works, it's a beautiful thing. You
So do
know,
you have to believe in it and for it necessarily to work? Do you have to have that belief there that it's gonna work?
the belief does help, but you also have to have an open mind. I don't have any superpowers. All I've done is learn the science.
Mm.
So there's no magic to it. It comes from a system of belief and open mindedness.
Mm. Wow. So do you think with the changes in like technology has helped hypnosis or set it back?
Well, I would say that it's pretty much on an even kill. And the reason why I say that, because as much as we are moving forward with AI and things of that nature, you still can't replace the human thought, the human emotion. There are some people that are very anti-technology, and I can understand why. You know, AI is being used with music. So what is real?
Mhm.
It's going to reach that point. When Will Smith did that movie a few years ago, when the machines took over, I'm
Mhm.
not a conspiracy theorist, but I do believe in the human spirit. And that's something that should never be vanquished.
But you know what though? I do think at some point in the world and in the future that it's gonna be machines taking over and it's gonna be a bad time. It's gonna put us into a Great Depression. I really hope it doesn't get that way because people are creating things every day, they're inventing things every day to try to take over, these jobs. So I pray that technology doesn't take over the world, but the way we're going, it seems like it's headed that way. It's no telling where we're going to be when 2025 comes in.
You know, back in the day when you and I were small, G Mama had all the family history on the floor model TV. She could see you could see the pictures from great granddaddy all the way up to the newborn baby, and unfortunately, that is being lost.
Mhm.
And you know, it's a mixture. You know, and no one is truly to blame. You can't say, oh, this generation started it, or that generation started a Generation X, Generation Z. It's the natural evolution of man. Man's curiosity causes us to invent, and we try to improve upon those things that were working. Because even if you look at Western medicine, all you can invent whatever you want in the laboratory, but everything starts from a home remedy. At some point, when you break it down to its most elementary element, everything starts from a home remedy.
I agree, but you're right. My mom had this floor TV. And she kept it well, she probably still has it actually.
Yeah.
But it doesn't work. But she's real sentimental with stuff like that. So she still has it. It's a floor TV that sits way up in the and it probably still works. And at one point, that was what we watched. So it's a lot of things that changed. Now we're flat screens, we're mounting it on the walls, it's Roku TVs and it's all different types of things. But if you don't never see that type of thing, like you said, that floor TV, you wouldn't understand.
Yeah.
It's a lot of things that they had back then that means a lot today, like record players.
Mm.
I love records, so they don't even embrace that anymore.
Yeah. Think about it. Most young people today, they don't write checks. You know.
But it's important for you to know about writing checks because one day you may have to balance your books and you may have to find that money that they took from you. So if
Yes.
you don't know the shorthand of it and you're dependent on technology to fix it, then you're in trouble. So you still have to know it. It's people out there too that don't know how to write cursive. They don't know how to write in cursive anymore because they stopped teaching in schools.
Mm-hmm. A few, in the optical industry, I've pretty much been in management for almost 20 years, and I had taken on a young apprentice, and she was working with me, and one day she came in. She's like, "Man, I can't figure out how much money I have on my account because the app isn't working." I was like, "Don't you know how to balance your checkbook? Who writes checks?" I was like, "Wow, okay."
I mean, my mom still writes checks, and that's how she keeps up with her bills and how she pay her bills. I mean, I don't think she would ever come out of that mode because I've tried so many times. Mom, won't you download the app? No. So
Mm.
there are people that still write checks because that's just the way that they know how to do it. This new technology with online banking and the app, they're not tech savvy. So what else do they have to resort to other than write checks? I
Yeah,
agree.
yeah, yeah.
So my as we wrap up our conversation, my most important question of all is where can people follow your journey? And if I know you're in Connecticut, I'm in North Carolina, but it may be somebody else watching this that's kind of near you that may want to utilize your services. Tell everybody where they can find you.
I'm actually in Georgia, and
That's right, Georgia.
the beauty of working with me is everything is virtual. So you can be in North Carolina, or you can be in London, England. I can still work with you. That's the beauty of what COVID has done. You
Mhm.
know, it has taught us that we must think on another level, and it has brought the virtual community together, and it has expanded things. You know,
Wow.
and that's beautiful.
That
You know,
is. So
and
you can do your services virtually and
well,
hypnotize somebody virtually.
yes, again, you need a strong internet connection. And as I hypnotize you, I put things in place like, so if we should, if when I'm hypnotizing you, if we should lose connection, you will automatically come out of that state within 2 or 3 minutes. That's one of the safety factors involved.
Mm. I was about to ask that question too. I was like, what if the internet connection goes down? Then are they stuck in that trans? I was
You
just about
can
to ask that question.
you can never ever 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 be stuck in hypnosis. What will happen is you will either come out of the hypnotic state because your brain will realize, okay, I'm not getting any suggestions. What are we doing here? I'm not getting any suggestions. Okay, well, okay, let's just come out of this state then. And then, or what can happen sometimes is sometimes you'll just fall asleep and then just wake up naturally.
See, that's a misconception about being hypnotized. 'Cause I thought, once when you watch TV, you watch these movies, you see where they hypnotize you and
Yeah,
you're
they
stuck.
say sleep and the head drops and you think they're sleeping, but no, they're just in a very relaxed state. They can hear everything that's going on. Again, anything that can be affected with the five senses, which is sight, sound, taste, and touch. And feel, it can be affected with hypnosis. And as a hypnotherapist or hypnotist, it's my responsibility to, not say anything negative when you're in that hypnotic state, because
Hmm.
you really can't do anything wrong per se. You just want to stay away from negative language and negative thoughts, because at that point you're speaking directly to the person's subconscious. So you want to stay away from the negative. Everything is always framed in a positive manner. So instead of saying stop doing XYZ, you'll say you will no longer
Two.
do XYZ.
Hmm.
Instead of saying you won't be tired anymore, you'll say something like, fatigue will be absent from your life from this point forward. So you
Wow.
so you're still reframing things in a positive manner.
Hmm. So I mean, you said that, do it in a positive way. So if you do say something negative, what happens?
Your body, your subconscious rejects the negative thought. You don't want to implant negative things on a person's mind, because if they're coming from a negative state, you're adding to it.
Hmm. And this one more misconception. When you come out and you was hypnotized, do you remember what happened? Because you say
You
you're fully
absolutely do.
aware.
You absolutely do.
Hmm.
And unless it is your desire not to. Like on some stage shows, you'll hear the hypnotist say, you may or may not remember what took place here this evening. So at that point, you're making the choice to remember or forget. That's your choice at that point.
Wow.
And see, what people have to realize is that hypnosis is not mind control. It's a partnership at that point, and that's why one of the key elements to being able to hypnotize someone is quickly establishing a level of rapport. You have to feel comfortable enough, with me, or with the hypnotist, to allow them to do it. So you quickly establish the rapport, and the one way you do that is you'll notice when a person starts to hypnotize someone, they go after three yes statements. I'll say something, hi, Nikki, thank you for having me here today. Or thank you for coming in today. So you want to be hypnotized? The response is yes. Isn't it a lovely day outside today? Your response is yes. So it's a great day to be hypnotized. So are you ready? Yes. You've gotten three yeses at that point.
Right.
At that point, when you have the three yeses, then that tells you, or a number of yeses, that tells your subconscious mind that, okay, we're going to comply. So a lot of it is woven in the language, and a lot of times the hypnosis starts the moment you walk through the office, because there's a part of our profession is called conversational hypnosis. So we're talking to you, and we're still weaving hypnotic language within our conversation. And salespeople do it all the time.
Right.
They do
Hmm.
it all the time.
You're
You
right.
know,
You're right. So I have a comment for you. From Princess Morris said, "Thanks for clarifying that."
Mm, you're welcome. You're welcome.
But it has definitely been a pleasure talking to you. You opened some avenues because of things that I didn't know about hypnosis. So, there's a lot of people that look at TV. Like I said, Get Out just was another whole level of hypnosis. So, people by watching TV get a whole different ball game from it. And to say that you say we're fully aware through it and coming out of it. So that was different for me to know, because I always thought that you were asleep, like you said, sleep, and you're not aware of what's going on. So you really cleared up a lot of things that people might have had questions about today.
Yeah, and one thing that you have to realize is that you'll see those stage shows where people are barking like a dog and doing those things.
Right.
Well, number one, what is not shown is that when the hypnotist is picking people from the audience, they're doing what's called small suggestibility tests to see, you know, how well you and how receptive you are to receiving suggestions. So they're saying things and they're making gestures and they're testing you to see, you know, how well your body takes the suggestions. And you notice if you ever go to a live hypnosis show, they'll tell some people to sit down
Mhm.
because they've quickly determined that this person won't be good or this person they won't make a good candidate. One of the most scariest things you can do as a hypnotist at times is just walk in and do a live show because you don't know what you're going to get.
Right.
You may have an audience where it's a packed house, and you pick out 10 people, and of the 10 people, by the time the show is over, you're down to 3 because those are the 3 people that are able to handle suggestions the best, and they're able to comply in a manner that is entertaining and informative.
Right. Wow. Oh man, that's some good stuff. Thank you so much for coming on here and clarifying a lot of things about it. That's definitely going to make me do some more research on the topic because I'm really interested now. I'm trying to find out some more information about it. So thank you so much for being a guest today and opening some eyes today because I'm sure some people didn't know a lot of things that you did state today.
Oh, oh, and you can do me a favor and just post my info. I'll give that to you. You can post it. That'll be all.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Absolutely. And thank you, everyone else out there for tuning in to another episode of Breaking the Silence. Make sure you support his journey and follow him on Facebook, Mark Kemp, to find out everything that you need to know about hypnosis.
Yes.
And make
YouTube.
YouTube.
I'm also on YouTube and TikTok.
He's also on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to him on YouTube as well to follow his journey and find out some more information. Please like, share, and subscribe to the Breaking the Silence YouTube channel for snippets, new episodes, and more. Make sure you tune in on next Saturday and next Sunday. There will not be any open mic or debate nights. But every Saturday we have open mic at 8 p.m. Sundays we have debate nights at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. So next on the stage today is Brittany Applewhite from Mullen, South Carolina, another hometown person for me, not only from a hometown, but she's also my family. She's my cousin. So she's an entrepreneur, comedian. She's CEO of Applewhite Thing. So make sure y'all tune in at 6:30 p.m. to hear about her journey as an entrepreneur. Y'all have a great evening. Mr. Mark, thank you so much once again for coming on the Breaking the Silence, and I hope you have a wonderful day.
Thank you so much for having me. And everyone, have a fantastic day. And may all your dreams come true.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You have a wonderful day.
You too.